know, ignore the giant Amazon package. I need to throw it away, but I am so incredibly lazy. I haven't done that yet. I just got it today though, so am I being that lazy? Yes. I am back and I have more of your Let's Not Meet stories that I'm super nervous to read. One of these, okay, the first one I found today, it's so long, but it seems insane. And I didn't read like any of it, which I never do. I always at least skim the stories to make sure they're good. So this better be good because if not, I'm wasting my time. But it seems so insane that I just have to read it. I have to. And it's gonna be great. I know it's gonna be great. But like I said, it is super long. So I picked out one other story. We're gonna see how long this takes us to read, and then we'll decide if we're gonna read number 2. This story says, the time my mom dated an alleged murderer and didn't know until after they broke up. Hey Courtney, I love your videos. I've been watching you for a long time and always put off sharing this because I was afraid it was too long. But even if you never read it on camera, I just thought you would enjoy the rise and fall of this fucking roller coaster of a story. If you do ever read it to your viewers though, please use they them pronouns for me. Listen, this is gonna be long. There's no getting around it. Trigger warning for pet death, people death, discussion of evidence, mention of attempted, not mine, and some brief mention of abuse. My cats are fighting. This story involves people I didn't find out were involved until later. People I never would have guessed would be involved in a million years. I don't fully know all the details, but I'll try to lay it out as clearly as I'm able to. So, growing up, my mom was really active in a lot of NA/AA meetings, addiction recovery based in Christianity for anyone who doesn't know. So much that she planned major events like camping trips and picnics. During a portion of this time, she babysat for a living. I just watched that happen. That was my favorite plant ever. I'm gonna have to take a brief intermission. Anyways, during a portion of this time, she babysat for a living and had a large client base with high recommendations. A lot of the people she babysat for were in the program, which is how she met the man I will henceforth be referring to as Dave. It's my stepdad's name. Dave was nice enough, he made my mom happy, and he was fighting for custody of his kids. My mom's always had a soft spot for underdogs, so of course this appealed to her, and she could relate because of battling for custody of me. At first, they just dated casually, and she would go with him to court. One of these times, his ex-wife followed my mom home and slashed all 4 of her tires. So it wasn't hard to believe him when he claimed she was crazy. Fast forward some time, our landlords get foreclosed on and the bank kicks us out of our apartment, so we move into a house. Dave moves in with us. Right off the bat, things are weird. As it turns out, Dave hates cats. We have 2 pet cats. One of them is mostly indoor by choice. Literally won't even walk out the front door if it's wide open unless he has a hankering for the outdoors. And usually he just wandered our yard and came back when he got bored. He was a rescue from a horrible situation, and frankly, I don't think he wanted much but to be loved by the people who literally rescued him from his imminent death. He was our baby, our sack of potatoes. We loved that cat like a 4th child. Well, one day, the cat disappears. No trace of him. Dave gets up before everyone else for work, and when he comes home, he tells us the cat bolted when he was leaving and just took off down the road, never came back. We searched for years, but that's ahead of the point. We accept this answer and we move on. Eventually, Dave gets custody of his 2 girls and they come to live with us. Up to this point, Dave has a job and the ability to contribute to bills and hasn't paid a dime. Now, my mom is taking care of his girls while he runs around doing fuck all with his buddies, only to later find out his buddies were his ex-wife. So she kicks him out, and the fucker, I shit you not, leaves his children there. At this point, we've got to figure out what to do about that because all of his shit is here and the kids have nowhere to go. I don't know what happened with the kids, to be honest. I just know they didn't stay with us for long. My mom had to pack up all of his stuff and leave it outside our house for him to collect later. And that's kind of all I knew of the situation for a long time. Enter Brenda, name changed for safety. Brenda was a friend my mom made kind of randomly, I guess. She just showed up in my mom's life one day. My mom wouldn't really tell me how they met or who she was. Her kids had plant names, and we only saw them when my mom would go there and have these really secret meetings in Brenda's bedroom with her. I never really understood what their friendship was about. My mom was always super secretive and whispered if she talked close enough for us to eavesdrop. Brenda also always seemed kind of on edge, like she was waiting for something, but I could never figure out what it was. One day, after years of not having seen Brenda, I asked whatever happened to her, and all my mom would tell me is that she moved away. She dodged and dismissed any and all the questions I asked. Fast forward yet again, I'm very early teens now. Finally, I asked my mom again about Brenda, because what the fuck, that was so weird. The places she would bring us to meet her were always super dark and empty, often different houses, sometimes in different cities. It was just weird. And then they just disappeared and moved away. And this time my mom was like, okay kid, I'll give it to you straight. Hold on to your seat, Courtney, because this is where it's about to get wild. I am not ready for this. Brenda was a fake name. I still changed it because I didn't want it to be obvious by any means, but her and her kids were using fake names when they lived here. I was like, why? And my mom took a deep breath. How much do you remember about Dave? Not much. He moved in with his kids, left without them, was kind of a dick. Well, Brenda knew Dave too. In fact, Brenda knew Dave before us. My mom proceeds to tell me she was meeting with Brenda to discuss a past relationship with a man she was running from out of fear for her literal life. As it turns out, back home where Brenda came from, she and Dave used to date. One day, she shows up at his trailer, only to discover that he's not home, and a dead body is laying in a puddle of blood on his floor. Girl understandably passes the fuck out. She wakes up and the body's gone, nowhere to be found, and Dave is there. He acts like nothing happened. She acts like nothing happened. He lets her leave. She packs her stuff, gathers her kids, and hijacks it the F out of Dodge. Good for her. Then my mom proceeds to explain that when our cat went missing, for an entire month after that day, she kept picturing Dave killing our cat with one of his tools in the doorway as a vision every single time she walked through the doorway. My mom's always been pretty sensitive to spiritual and occult-ish stuff. She would hate me for saying this now, but it's the truth, regardless of if she's a devout Christian these days. Well, when Brenda found this out about my mom and realized they happened to have a connection to the same random man, she asked for help. I guess the place she used to live was close by or something, so she took my mom to that old trailer that he no longer lived in. My mom couldn't even go in the house. Just approaching the door filled her with this dreadful, unbearable feeling of death. I wish that was the end of the story. I wish I could say, well, we went, and that was the end. I wish. I'm literally crying while I type this because, girl, there was a fucking murderer living in my house. I realize this is not 100% damning evidence yet, but it's about to get real. But there was more to the story that my mom told me, because there's a piece to his time living in our home that I didn't know about until this day. While my mom was packing his stuff, she found a little baggie with clipped fingernails and strands of long blonde hair with some dark brownish dried stuff on them tucked away in it. In the moment, she didn't know Brenda and thought it was just some weird thing and tossed it in the trash. But the woman Brenda found in the trailer, she was blonde. I know what you're thinking. We said, oh, and that was the end. Courtney, I love you, but you're so wrong and I'm so upset about it. Oh my God, how does this keep going? I was 13 when my mom told me about that. It literally haunts my dreams to this day, and I'm almost 27. Sadly, that's not the only thing to haunt me about the situation. Later, when I was 17, my mother finally let me and my brother go to public school. We were homeschooled previously. It's complicated and not really relevant. But my brother pretty quickly meets this girl and falls for her. They wind up having a pretty explosive relationship, a lot of physical violence coming from her side, emotional and mental manipulation. She tried to baby chop him multiple times and failed each one. Like, it was bad. In the long term, he wound up almost because of her. Sometime closer to the end of their relationship, the girl starts talking about how she heard from her dad for the first time in a while and starts telling us about her two younger siblings. Oddly enough, they have the same names and nicknames of Dave's kids. Not really that weird, but weird enough that we asked who her dad was. And would you look at that? It was Dave. I am not joking, I am dead serious. We opted not to tell her about the dead woman, or about Brenda, or about the evidence my mom accidentally threw out, or about our cat. She may have been a horrible, abusive bitch who named someone else's kid after my brother to manipulate him. Yeah, she really did that. But she doesn't deserve to have all of that dropped on her out of nowhere. Anyway, to this day, we have no actual proof he did it, but the suddenly missing cat and the way he used his kids to get into my mom's good graces and then just left them with us like they didn't matter, the way Brenda was 100% convinced of what she saw, the fact that my mom found literal trophies with blood on them and his shit, I can't help but wonder, would he have done something if we hadn't kicked him out? I mean, you can't tell me this isn't a staggering amount of uncomfortable coincidences at the absolute best. Anyway, that is the end now. Creepy dude my mom dated for 9 months. Let's never meet again. That's not real. That's not real. Oh my God. Okay, what is happening? I am so glad I did not read that beforehand. Oh, I am so glad. That was so worth not skimming through. That was insane. And I knew it was gonna be good. Oh, I just knew it. I had a feeling. Not good, but like, you're lying. I am so glad nothing happened. Something did happen, but I'm glad nothing happened to you guys. Did you ever find out who the woman was? Like, did they, it's been years. Nothing's happened. Like, you should report him. I know it's a little late for that, but like, he probably killed somebody. But Brenda's long gone, and she was the only eyewitness, kind of. I don't know. What are you supposed to do? What do you do? I gotta go. I have to leave. But we are gonna read the second story, and I'm just gonna get into it because I am like speechless over that last story. That is absolutely insane. But this one says, repairman with unknown nefarious intentions. Hey, my name is Quinn, he, they, and I work at night. Most of the time I'm by myself, but it's basically a daily occurrence for delivery people to come by, so it's something you quickly get used to. Maintenance people are a little more rare and make me a bit more nervous after what happened in this story. Almost 2 years ago, there was a repairman working on the ceiling of the store my then roommate worked at. He had been there with her 2 nights in a row, and they had been uneventful. She said he was friendly and sang along with his music too loudly, but otherwise things had been completely normal. She told me and our other roommate that she had smelled pot on him after he took a smoke break, and she considered warning him that cops do round the area, but she assumed he'd be fine and didn't say anything. The third night, the night he was supposed to finish up the repair job, my roommate was off and I was working at her store instead. When I met the repair guy, I had the same initial impression that my friend had described. Very friendly, a little goofy. He joked around with me about a few innocuous things before he went over to his area to work and I went to mine. About halfway through the night, I went to the bathroom, and on the way, I saw all of his equipment at the lobby, but both he and his vehicle were gone. It confused me, but I thought maybe one of the nearby gas stations was open and he had gone to get a snack or something. I used the bathroom and then went back to work. Maybe an hour or two later, I suddenly see blue flashing lights outside and a call of police coming from the side door, which the repairman must have left cracked open. I felt confusion and concern in that moment as I paused my work and greeted the 2 officers that approached. They asked if there was a man meant to be there with me. I told them, yeah, he's fixing the ceiling. They said, okay, so you know him. I said, I mean, I don't know him, but he is supposed to be here. They said, okay, thank you, and started to walk away. Baffled and concerned for the man's well-being, I asked, is everything all right? And the cop said, we're just checking, and headed back outside. I got back to work, keeping an eye toward the front as I did. I couldn't see outside, but I could still see the blue lights flashing. Not 10 minutes later, a different police officer came inside and told me the repairman was being arrested. They had pulled in to do their rounds and saw him standing to the side of the building. When they pulled up, they saw that he had been smoking meth. He had a loaded pistol on him, and there was a loaded shotgun lying on the patio right outside the building. The reason I hadn't seen his vehicle when I went to the bathroom was because he had moved it to the side of the building. Needless to say, I was in shock. Once the cop walked away, I immediately texted my roommates what had happened, and the one who regularly worked there rushed out of the house to come down to the store to be with me. Luckily, we only lived like 3 minutes down the road. When she pulled up, she met the same cop who had told me what happened, and he filled her in on another detail that he hadn't told me. The guy also had sex toys in his vehicle. Why? I don't want to know. My roommate came in and kept me company while I worked. Yes, I still had to finish out the night, and called our bosses to let them know what had happened. To this day, I am so thankful that she didn't warn the guy about the police, and that they happened to do their rounds there before he could go through with whatever was on his mind. To the maintenance man who brought meth, guns, and sex toys to work, let's not meet again. Okay, what does he do? Why? For what reason? I swear you guys have the craziest stories. Like, what are these things that are happening to you? But that is all I have for now. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any other stories you want to share with me or the community, I will have my subreddit linked down below. I am in shock still at the first story that we read. I am in absolute shock. And also the second story is just unnerving. Absolutely unnerving. I want to say really quickly too, I know I say this all the time, and you're probably annoyed at me. Thank you so much for continuing to share your stories with me. I really do appreciate it more than you guys would ever know. You guys have the craziest stuff happen to you, and I'm glad that you feel comfortable enough to share it with me. But other than that, I am gonna go. I love you guys. We'll see you in the next one. Bye! I thought that one story was gonna take me a lot longer to read than it did, so I feel like this is gonna be a short video, but I got some rambling to do, so we'll make up for time. I told you guys in my last video, one of my videos from like last week, that I started to do like at-home workouts. Yeah, okay, so that was not going very well because I have no self-discipline. And like I'm home all the fucking, I work from home, I'm home all the time. And so I feel like doing another thing at home is gonna drive me nuts. So I actually signed up for Hotworks. It's basically like working out in a sauna. I don't know how else to describe it. That's literally what it is. You are like working out in a sauna, like 125 fucking degrees. And so I signed up for that because I know someone who used to work there, and one of my friends, he used to go there all, I think he still goes there maybe like once a month. And he says he likes it, and his girlfriend really likes it, and his girlfriend's friend who works there really liked working there. She loved it. And so I decided to go try it a couple days ago, or yesterday actually. It feels like it's been so long. I tried it yesterday. I'm filming this on Tuesday. So I tried it Monday, I did hot Pilates and I didn't like hate it. It was a 30-minute thing, but it was boring, a little boring. Like I just don't really like Pilates, I don't think. But then I did cycling today. It was a 15-minute HIIT session. I did cycling. Oh my God, it was, oh, it was so hard. And it's crazy because I think I'm so out of shape that the workout destroys me so much. I don't even notice how hot it is because I'm like drenched in sweat and I'm like, whoa, where's this coming from? I'm getting a great workout, not realizing it's 120 degrees in the room. And so I don't know, I really like it so far. I think the workouts, I feel like I'm getting a good workout in, which is like really important, I think, because like when I was doing at home workouts, I was like sore, but I didn't really feel like I was getting like a good workout in, but I feel like I really am. And it's crazy, but I'm gonna keep doing it. I signed up for a month and I'm gonna do it for this month. I'm gonna try to stick with it. I'm gonna see if I like it. And then if I like it, I'm gonna sign up for like an actual membership. But so far so good. I've done 2 days in a row. I'm planning on going tomorrow. I'm planning on going like every day this week besides the weekend, because this weekend, when you're watching this, Saturday is waste management and fucking Sunday is the Super Bowl. It's gonna be a horrible weekend and everything is in Arizona. So it's gonna be, I am not prepared. Oh, I am absolutely not prepared. But I have to be. I have to be ready because I have to join in on the festivities. Have to. So yeah, it's gonna be a crazy weekend in Arizona, so I don't plan on working out. Like, fuck that. But yeah, so I've been doing hot works. It's for 2 days, but whatever. I'm proud of myself for going and actually doing it. And I had to like take breaks and stuff, but I finished it. I thought, knowing myself, if I got to a point where I was like, oh, I'm too tired to finish, I would just like leave the session, because you're by yourself anyways. It's like they have like 10 saunas or like 8 saunas. You book a room, you're typically by yourself doing your workout. There's like an instructor video. So it's not like a class with like a bunch of people. And so it's also nice because you can be alone and not worry about people judging you, because I am incredibly out of shape, so it's embarrassing. So it's nice because you're alone, doing your own thing, sweating your ass off. My cat, I don't know what my cat's doing, but he's making noise, and I thought someone was breaking in, even though I could have looked in the camera and seen that my front door is closed, but whatever. Working out, being a workout girly in my workout era, it's not a big deal. Yeah, I think that's all though. I think that's all I had to update you on. I really have nothing else. I'm gonna go. Love you so much. Sorry, I don't know what that was. I just love you. What can I say? See ya.